Hello and welcome. It's a good day to be on the farm. My name is Chuck, and in this episode, I'm going to show you what it looks like when you plant 160 trees on a field, and then fast forward like 3 years. So, this is on the starter farm on Riverbend Springs, and I took field number 5, which is right here. So, here's the starter farm area. I took field number 5 right here, and I planted 160 lodgepole pine. Now I started with these ones in the middle that you can see are fully grown, and I planted 80, and I planted them at this 30-degree angle just because I thought it looked cooler. So as you travel, you can just see all these lines at 30 degrees using the driver's assist. And once those grew up, I went ahead and planted another 80, which is how I got to 160. So for the first 12 months, they're just like little sprouts, and then month 13 they grow up to this and become a 11.6 meter lodgepole pine, as you can see this section is, and that section over there. And then somewhere around 26 or 27 months, I'm not 100% sure, but less than 3 years, they turn into these 23.2 meter lodgepole pines. And I don't know if they have a third growth stage. So as I'm sitting here and harvesting these, I am going to let a couple of them grow up for a really long time to see if they get any bigger, but I don't think that they do. So I want to show you why I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. Number one, here is my John Deere 843L tree harvester, and this thing is awesome. You can raise and lower this, but the coolest thing about it is it can hold 2 trees. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the saw, and we'll do one from the outside and then one from the inside of the cab. But so you just come here and it grabs it, and then you lift up, and then we pull forward. So here's where I'm going to try to do the second one from the inside of the cab. I can kind of see it right there. And then before we get all the way close, we're going to lower it back down. And oh, looks like we already did it. I was too close. So look, I've got, it says trees 2 out of 2 now, and you can see I have those held in the gripper. Probably best not to, I cut that one a little high, that stump, didn't mean to, but anyway. So I'm just going to take these 2 pines that I just cut down, and here's my sawmill. So I built the sawmill right here where the cow pen used to be. Oh no, it's falling. And then we're going to jump out of here, just go to the sawmill sell point, which is right here. And right now we have 5,000 liters of wood in. As soon as we sell it, now we're up to 9,000. So each lodgepole pine is about 2,000 to 2,500 liters. So we're going to shut this off. But the idea was, I am not a huge fan of forestry, or at least I wasn't in FS22. It does seem a little bit fixed in 25, but it does require a couple of extra steps. Or excuse me, there are a lot of things that require the lumber that you get. So I decided to build the big sawmill here and plant, this is just one field, and it's kind of our smallest one, full of pine trees. So that's going to continue to grow and produce wood that'll easily be processed in my sawmill. And the reason that I'm doing that is because I'm trying to invest in one of the projects that they put into the game, which is down here, which is the playground. You can rebuild this playground, and it takes a lot of wood. And I don't really I'm talking like hundreds of thousands of liters of boards and planks and beams and various things. I don't have the exact numbers offhand, but I just know that it is a lot. Right now we're on a step that requires a lot of these wood beams, so that's what I'm producing right now, but I have dropped some planks and some other things off. Sorry, that sawmill's really loud. I'm trying to stay away from that for the volume issues on the thing, but I decided, let me do a map where I kind of focus on lumber on my terms. And this John Deere is really nice for just picking up 2 trees, but it works best on these lodgepole pines, which are long and straight and don't have a lot of branches. I did cut down maybe a dozen trees around the property. There used to be a lot more in this area. And this one over here, that you may have seen has a soccer ball in it. When you start, even when you cut it down, that soccer ball still shows up here. So interestingly enough, that soccer ball, you can't get rid of it. Also, I'm having trouble getting rid of that stump, but that's neither here nor there. And then I cut down this one over here as well, that you normally have in the yard. So I don't know that this is necessarily a playthrough, but I did want to do some stuff with lumber that I hadn't tried yet. So number two, I also built this little shed. So in the starter farm, it comes with this project already started, which you can sell for $1,000 or you can build. It requires, again, long planks and quite a few of them. It requires like one batch of short planks and one thing of bricks, but for the most part, it was a lot of long planks to build it. And again, I got those from the lumber mill. Now, I will tell you, I'm not impressed with this. I must have dumped $30,000 worth of wood into here before this was done, and it took almost a year. And you can't really use it for much of anything that I can see, because there's no double doors that you could pull equipment in. It's not tall. You can't even jump in here because there's some issues with that. So I wouldn't recommend building this shed because it's just not very usable on the farm. If you are on the new farmer and you've got this, I would sell that one and build a bigger one or a different one if you really want to build something. There's the beehives there too. Anyway, so wanted to show you guys that if you're looking to finish that project, having lodgepole pines and that John Deere makes it easier for someone like me who's not very good at lumbering or the lumber stuff. So, and then lastly, I wanted to show you guys, I went the wrong way, this. So I also bought the cement factory because, like I said, I needed bricks for that one, and you do need some bricks for the grain mill, so I wasn't sure if I was going to do the grain mill or let me get the trigger again. I wasn't going to sure if I was going to do the grain mill restoration project or the playground, but the playground seems like a little more fun, and it's actually really close to here. You just drive south on this road between field 2 and 3, and then you're basically there. And so I bought this cement factory here, which, I mean, is the one that's on the map that you can buy from the beginning of the game, and you dump rocks in there, and then you get your cement bags and bricks right here out the front of that. So I've had this going for the same 3 years that I fast forwarded, so I do have quite a bit of stuff built up. But here was my plan on this. I discovered that this dredging boat has this pipe that comes up here, and it just drops stone here that you're supposed to be able to pick up. Now, on a computer, you can pick up. I've watched a couple of videos of people who were able to scoop this up with a bucket or set up some sort of conveyor belt system just straight over to the cement factory to sell it. For whatever reason, I have not been able to, in 3 years, be able to pick that up. I think it's bugged on console. I'm on a PS5. I have not been able to get free stones from there. So I had this plan originally to do the grain mill, and I needed stones, and I'd already bought the cement factory, and I wasn't able to get those. So what I did on my starter farm was I actually built the debris crusher. And if you've never used the debris crusher, let me show it to you. I built it also over where the cattle were. You might have seen it in the background when I was showing off the sawmill. So again, this is all really close to the starter farm. This field 2 actually belongs to the new farm, but I sold it because I needed money for all the other things that I was doing. But so you just come up this road here, and then boom, you're back into the farmyard. So I sold the cattle pen, the dynamic pasture over here that had the cattle in it, and I put that debris crusher right there, and it does the same thing that dredging boat was supposed to do, but it does it, and it costs $99,000. And then I got tired of scooping with a bucket, so I got these conveyor belts. So you can see it does the same thing. It just dumps out rocks into this bin right here, and then I set up this conveyor belt system to just drop the stones into here. So essentially once a month, I take a full load of 28,000 stones over to the cement factory, and I'll show you right here. So here's my cement factory. I have 59,806 liters in there, and I have 26 pallets of bricks and 26 pallets of cement bags stored up. I had roof blades too, but I ended up selling them. You do need some for the grain mill, but not for the playground. So anyway, this was my solution. I wouldn't have had to do this if the dredging boat wasn't bugged. And let me just show you that on the map. So again, here's your starter farm. You own those 4 fields. Right down here is the cement factory, which I did buy. And then next to it is this dredging boat. And you can't buy it. You can only visit it. And there's a lime thing there too. But I can't pick it up on console. And then I saw some other posts that people were having the same issue. So I think it's just bugged on console. Hopefully Giants fixes that sometime. So if you start this, I would go over there with a bucket and check if you can scoop those free rocks before you spend essentially $135,000, because I spent $99,000 on this and another $35,000 on the conveyor just to be able to get the free rocks to get the free cement stuff, which you do need for the construction project. So, and lastly, we'll go to the map here again. So your starter farms here, if you just go down this road right here between 2 and 3 and up the hill, this is where that playground is, and it requires a ton of stuff. And then all the way over here on the other corner of the map, this is where that grain mill, or grain elevator, sorry, grain elevator museum. I think I kept calling it a grain mill in this episode. So I was selling stuff to here, but it's a long drive. So I decided this one needs more wood anyway. And since I was doing the lodgepole pine, I've just been working on this project. And so I don't think I'm going to make a series out of this or anything, but I may check in from time to time and let you know how it's going with all of these. All the wood I'm producing from here, and I want to know, or like I'm curious if 160 trees is going to be enough to build that boat. I kind of think it's not going to be, but we'll see if it is. And then lastly, to take care of those stumps, I use this mulcher right here on the back of this big green John Deere over here. And then you can just drive over them and basically mulch them off. And that will basically undo my field. Also, if I was doing this for a real series, I would put this, I've discovered I put the sawmill way too close, so to unload all this stuff, I had to keep driving into the field, so that's why I concreted this area, which messed up the field also. So would have found a better position for this, would have hopefully have the dredging boat working, so I didn't have to put that there, and would have maybe done this a little bit differently too. But anyway, 160 trees, that's what they look like. 26 to 27 months to get them to full grown. And then you can also have your forest. So I just really think this is an interesting way to kind of start a farm. And I'm just going to kind of mess around with that playground and see what that looks like. So I will check back in with this at some point when I've made a lot more progress on the boat. And we'll talk about that, like whether or not that's even close to enough wood or not, because I think it is hundreds of thousands of liters of wood, planks and beams that you need to deliver. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.